I didn't find out because someone told me. I found out because of a photo. It was a Thursday night and I was half awake on my couch, mindlessly scrolling through Instagram after a long day at work. A familiar last name caught my eye. My brother Ryan had posted something. I tapped it. There they were, my parents, Ryan and his wife, my younger sister Claire, all standing on a white sand beach at sunset, arms wrapped around each other, smiling like they were in a travel brochure, matching linen outfits, golden light, perfect. The caption read, "Another perfect Miller family getaway. So grateful for our annual tradition." Annual. I stared at the screen. I wasn't in the photo. My name is Lauren. I'm 28 years old. I work as a financial analyst for a consulting firm in Boston. I have my own apartment, my own car, and a schedule that's busy but manageable. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I've built a life I'm proud of, steady, independent, intentional. But apparently not family getaway material. I texted my mom, "When did you guys go to the beach?" Her reply came 15 minutes later. "Oh, honey, just this past weekend. It was kind of last minute. We figured you'd be too busy." Too busy? I checked my calendar. That weekend had been completely open. I called her. She answered cheerfully, "Hi, sweetheart." "When was this trip planned?" I asked. "Oh, Ryan and Emily put it together. It came together quickly." "And no one thought to mention it to me?" There was a pause, a soft sigh. "Lauren, you're always working. We didn't want to bother you." Bother me? I had never once declined an invitation. After we hung up, I opened our family group chat, the one I was in. I scrolled back weeks, then months. No mention of a beach house, no mention of flights, no mention of anything remotely vacation-related. That's when a heavy, uncomfortable thought settled in. There had to be another chat, one without me. I clicked through Ryan's profile and started scrolling. Cabo last spring, a cabin in Vermont 2 winters ago, a lake house trip the year before that. Each post captioned with some version of family time or our favorite tradition. 3 years. 3 years of trips I'd never been invited to. My chest felt tight. I texted Claire, "How long have you guys been doing these vacations?" She responded almost an hour later. "It's not like that." "Like what?" "You're just in a different phase. It's mostly couples and kids." Different phase. I read that message over and over. Because I was single? Because I didn't have kids? That made me optional? Suddenly, small memories started rearranging themselves in my mind. 2 summers ago, Emily had asked if I could house sit and watch their dog for a quick weekend away. I'd said yes immediately. I watered plants, brought in mail, walked the dog twice a day. That same weekend, Ryan's Instagram showed them in Napa Valley. For 5 days. Not a quick weekend, a family vacation. I'd been the backup plan, the convenient one. A week after I saw the beach photo, something strange happened. My phone buzzed with a group chat notification. I'd been added to a conversation titled Miller Holiday Plans. My heart started pounding as I opened it. Messages flooded the screen. Airbnb links, flight options, budget discussions, jokes about last year's beach disaster, debates about room assignments. The chat history went back nearly 2 years. I scrolled quickly, taking screenshots. Then, 30 seconds later, I was removed. Someone had added me by accident, but it was too late. I'd seen enough. One message stood out like it was highlighted. Emily had written, "Let's keep this small this year. Lauren gets weird about this stuff." Weird. I stared at that word. Weird for wanting to be included? That Sunday, I went to my parents' house for dinner. I hadn't been formally invited, but Sunday dinners used to be a standing tradition. When I walked in, the room shifted. "Oh, Lauren, I didn't know you were coming." "It's Sunday," I replied calmly. We sat down to eat. Roast chicken, mashed potatoes, casual conversation. Then Ryan said, "We're thinking of doing Colorado in February, ski trip." Emily nodded. "The cabin we found has 6 bedrooms. It's perfect." I set my fork down gently. That sounds amazing. I'd love to come. Silence. Emily laughed lightly. Oh, it's more of a family with kids thing. I am a family. Dad cleared his throat. Sweetheart, these trips can get expensive. I almost smiled at that. I made more than Ryan. Everyone at that table knew it. We just don't want you to feel obligated, Mom added quickly. Obligated? Or unwanted? I finished dinner quietly and left early. 3 days later, Emily texted me, Hey, quick favor. Could you watch Charlie and the dog February 10th through 16th? The exact dates of the Colorado ski trip. I stared at the message for a long time before responding. I can't. I'll be traveling. 3 dots appeared immediately. Oh, where? I didn't answer. Instead, I opened my banking app. Over the past few years, I'd been disciplined. Promotions, bonuses, careful saving. I had nearly $20,000 in savings earmarked for future plans. I also had a credit card stacked with reward points from work expenses. I'd always told myself I was saving for something meaningful, for a trip we'd all take together someday. Suddenly, I realized something. I didn't have to wait for an invitation. I opened my laptop and started searching destinations. Maldives, Amalfi Coast, Bora Bora. Then I found it. A 5-star resort in Santorini, cliffside suite, private plunge pool overlooking the Aegean Sea, sunset views straight out of a postcard. 7 nights, business class flights fully covered by points, the hotel heavily discounted through a rewards program. It was indulgent, beautiful, slightly outrageous. My finger hovered over Book Now. A small voice whispered that it was selfish. Another voice whispered that I'd spent years shrinking myself for people who didn't make room for me. I clicked. The confirmation email arrived seconds later. For the first time in weeks, I felt something close to peace. February came. They flew to Colorado. I flew to Greece. When I stepped on the terrace of my suite and saw the caldera stretching endlessly below me, something inside me shifted. The air was warm, the sky impossibly blue, the water shimmering in the distance. I stood there alone and not lonely. There's a difference. On the second night, I posted a single photo, just the horizon at sunset. Caption, taking the trip I kept waiting for. Within an hour, my phone lit up. Claire commented, Wait, where are you? Emily messaged privately, Wow, didn't know you were into trips like this. Ryan texted, Since when do you travel like that? I didn't respond. For 7 days, I swam in the Aegean, took a boat tour around the islands, ate dinners overlooking the sea, and read books without interruption. I didn't check the family chat. I didn't explain myself. When I got home, there was a text from my mom. We need to talk. I agreed to Sunday dinner. This time, I walked in differently. Calm, steady. Mom started immediately. We saw your trip. I know. Ryan leaned forward. Greece? Yes. Emily crossed her arms. Must be nice to just spend money like that. It was, I said simply. Dad cleared his throat. Sweetheart, these trips can get expensive. I almost smiled at that. I made more than Ryan. Everyone at that table knew it. We just don't want you to feel obligated, Mom added quickly. Obligated? Or unwanted? I finished dinner quietly and left early. In the weeks that followed, apologies came in different forms. Awkward texts, a voicemail from my dad, a half-hearted message from Emily. I appreciated the effort, but something fundamental had changed. I stopped waiting for them to make space for me. Instead, I made space for myself. I started planning another trip, Japan in the spring. Cherry blossoms, Tokyo lights, Kyoto temples. Not to prove anything, just because I could. I used to think being left out meant I wasn't enough. Now I understand something better. Sometimes you're excluded not because you lack value, but because your independence unsettles people who prefer you small. I'm still their daughter, still their sister, but I'm also someone who can stand on a cliff in Santorini, watching the sun sink into the Aegean Sea, and know completely that I don't need anyone's permission to live beautifully. And that realization was the real luxury.